Okay guys, so we are back with yet another video on C++ programming tutorial and data structures and algorithms course. So what are we going to do in today's video? We are going to talk about the Fibonacci sequence or the Fibonacci series, as you can already see on your screen. So this is a Fibonacci sequence which I have displayed. Now let me read this definition. The line written below this sequence is actually the definition of Fibonacci series. Each number is the sum of previous two numbers. This is actually a Fibonacci sequence. So what do we do, guys? First let me set my brush thickness. Let me make it 10 pixels. No, 10 pixels is very thick, I guess. Let me do it to 7 pixels. Yeah, so this is good. This is good. Yeah, so basically what are we going to do is we are going to assume that this series will start from 0 and 1. That is, the first two terms is going to be 0 and 1. The first two terms are going to be 0 and 1, and then every term will be the sum of previous two terms. Like the third term will be the sum of 0 and 1, which is 1. That is the sum of first term and second term. If you talk about the fourth term, that is 2, it will be the sum of third and second term. So it is going to be the sum of 1 and 1. Okay, 1 plus 1 will give me 2, and that's why my fourth term is 2, because it is the sum of second and third term. So every term will be the sum of previous two numbers, every number in the sum of previous two numbers. Okay, so you can see it. Now if we do 3 plus 2, we'll get 5. If we do 5 plus 3, we'll get 8. If I do 8 plus 5, I'll get 13, which is the next term. And if I'll do 13 plus 8, I'll get 21, which is the next term. So you can clearly see, okay, every term is a sum of previous two numbers. Let's check for a random term also. Okay, these are going in sequence. Let us check for a random term. So if I check for, let's say, 144, so the previous two terms are 55 and 89. Okay, so the sum of 55 and 89, that is 89 plus 55, if I do, it should come out to be 144. So yeah, it is coming out to be 144, and that is what I am saying. Any term randomly, even if you pick from the series, it is going to be the sum of previous two terms. So this is all about the Fibonacci series. Okay, this was all about the Fibonacci series. Now what do we need to see is we need to explain you. I'll explain you now that how are we going to implement this in the code. Okay, I'm going to explain this to you using the for loop. Okay, we are going to do this using the for loop. Okay, and the explanation part, obviously this explanation part will be done on the digital blackboard. Okay, but yeah, so we will also see the code in this video, that what actually is the code. So let's go. So guys, let me explain all this Fibonacci code to you. Okay, what all we are going to do in this Fibonacci code. Okay, you can call it anything. You can call it Fibonacci series, you can call it Fibonacci sequence, whatever you want to call. So this was the series which you saw just right now. Okay, 0 1 1 2, and then 2 and 1 was 3, and 3 and 5 was 8, and 8 and 5 was 13, and then 21. Okay, so you saw this thing. This was pretty much of it. You saw and you understood what a Fibonacci series is. Now what are we going to do is we are going to declare some variables. Okay, I'll assign a to, no, not 1, I'll assign a to 0. Okay, this is going to be the first term of Fibonacci series. B will be the second term, which is 1. C will denote the next terms, and N is for number of terms. Okay, N denotes the number of terms in the Fibonacci series, and that is the thing which we are going to take input from the user. Okay, the user will give us the number of terms of Fibonacci series, and then we'll by the method of some for loop, we will create a program that will display the Fibonacci series up till n terms. Okay, so first of all I'll ask the user to enter the number of terms. Okay, so enter number of terms. Okay, so C in n. Okay, C in the number of terms. The user will enter the number of terms, and then what are we going to do? We are going to print the first two terms by our side only, because I told you, let's say if user enters 10, so this will be taken as an input. Okay, now I told you that A and B, the very first two terms of the Fibonacci series, are our input basically. Okay, let's write it in the left so that it will be visible to you. Yeah, so guys, what I was saying was the first two terms of the Fibonacci series, which we assume is 0 and 1. I told you already, and then further every term is the sum of first two previous two terms. Okay, so the first two terms are actually imaginary. We imagine that 0 and 1 will be the first two terms. Okay, so A is 0, that is we have printed 0. Now we have printed space, and then after that we have printed B value, which is 1, and after B also we have left some space, which is obviously not visible here. Okay, so this is what we have done by writing this. We have printed two terms of the Fibonacci series. So since we have already printed the two terms, my loop will start from the third term. So int I equals to 3. Okay, because I have already printed the two terms. I have already printed 0 and 1. So my I will start from 3 because I have to print from the third term. Now I less than equal to n. Why I less than or equal to n? Because we have to go until n. 10 terms means total of 10 terms we have to print, not the 9 terms we have to print. We have to print 10 terms. Okay, yeah, so 0 and 1, they are already printed. Now we will go up till the n terms to do this. Now right now see what is happening. I'll write something as C is equal to A plus B. So what will happen on writing? My third term will be printed, that is 0 and 1 will be printed if I print this, obviously. So first I'll do C equals A plus B, and then I'll print C. Okay, this is pretty much it. This is clear to you, that is C will have the value of 0 and 1, that is 1, and on printing C, 1 will be printed. Okay, so let's do that first. So I'll write here C equals A plus B, and C out C. Okay, so this is pretty much of it. This is what I have done. I have written the third term. Okay, now by doing this I have printed 0, 1 and 1. Okay, by doing this I have printed 0, 1 and 1 in my Fibonacci series. Okay, yeah, now I want to print the further terms. So what can I do for printing the further terms? First of all, I'll have to leave the space after printing C, otherwise all the terms further printed will be without any space. So I'll leave the space after printing C. Now see, this is very important. Now what I'm going to tell you, please listen to it very carefully. We have 0, 1 and 1 printed already. Right now our A variable is 0, that is A, you can, in one way you can say that A variable is pointing to value 0. Now what if I point this A to 1 and B to 1, and now I do C is equal to A plus B? I know the answer will be 2, and I know that the next term in my Fibonacci series is 2. Right? I know that the next term in my Fibonacci series is 2. So actually what is going to happen, let's see this. Okay, let's see. I'll write here A equals B, and then I'll write B equals C, and that is it, guys. That is it for the for loop code. This will print my Fibonacci series up till n terms. I know there might be some problem for you guys to understand this. Now let me explain to you this thing in depth. Okay, see, what I have done is I have already told you that A equals to B in C++ means that the value of B is assigned to A, so that now A has become 1. Now this b equal to c also means that the value of c is assigned to b, that is b has also become 1, okay, but the different one, okay. So what has happened is this is 0, this is 1, this is 1. So earlier this was the case. Now I moved this a value to b, that is now a value is deleted from this place and it has been moved here, okay. Now this is the new a value. Similarly, by doing b equal to c, okay, by doing b equal to c, I have moved this c value from here and I have printed b here, that is b is now having this new value. Now I plus plus will take place because we have, this was the last statement. After that I equal to 4, which means that we have to print the fourth term now, and we will enter inside the loop. When we will enter inside the loop, the very first statement is c equals a plus b, that is c equals 1 plus 1, which is 2. And then the next statement is c out c, therefore 2 will be printed, okay guys, 2 will be printed because c out c. And then again what will happen, see, right now this is a, this is b, this is c. Again we have those statements, a equal b, b equal c. So again these values will be shifted. Again now the a, b and c values will be shifted. By doing this, a equal to b and b equal to c, again I'll have a here, I'll have a here and b here, okay. And then again the I plus plus will take place. How I becomes 5. Let's say 5 is less than n because I have assumed n to be 10, okay. So this 5 is also less than 10 and it means that we have to print the fifth term. So c equals a plus b. On entering the loop I see it is 2 plus 1, which is 3. So the fifth term is 3. And now c out c is the next statement, therefore 3 will be printed. In place of this 3 will be printed, okay guys. So here 3 is printed, and again the a, b and c values will be shifted, okay. This will become the a value, this will become the b value, and now again I plus plus will take place, and this will go on until I becomes equal to n, and when I becomes equal to n, the for loop will end. So this is pretty much of it guys. This is the entire explanation of this thing. Now let us move on to the coding part. We'll write the code for it and we'll see if it works or not. Alright guys, so now it's the time to code. I have already saved this file by the name of Fibonacci.cpp, and you can save it by any other name, but yeah, it's obviously Fibonacci, so you will also save this by the name of Fibonacci. Now let me write the necessities, that is hash include iostream using namespace standard and int main. Now I'll write int a equals 1 and no, a equals 0 and b equals 1 and c and n. Okay, this is all I'm going to write. Now I'll zoom it because in my previous videos I saw this equal to sign was appearing to be as minus sign to you guys, so I'm zooming it out so that you can clearly see that this is equal to sign, okay, this is not minus sign. Every time I write equal to, I'll zoom the screen for you so that you can clearly see. There is actually some display issue in the recorder, I guess. So yeah, that is. Now enter the number of terms. We have to ask the user to enter the number of terms. Enter the number of terms and c in n. Now let's write the loop part. So for int I equals 3, I have already explained this to you because we have to start from the third term. We have already, we know the first two terms, what are they going to be. So yeah, we'll start from the third term, c equals a plus b, and c out c, and I'll leave space after this, and then I'll write a equal b, b equal to c. I have already explained this to you. Let me first print the first two terms also. Before doing this, I'll print the terms. Yeah, I'm zooming it for you guys so that you can see that it is equal to, not the minus sign, okay. Yeah, now let's first print the first two terms of the series also. So c out a and space and b, and again I'll leave some space. So This is pretty much of it, guys. Now let's write return 0. Okay, let's write return 0. So yeah, this is the code, and let's build and run this code and see what output it gives. Okay, let me move it here, and I'm entering the number of terms to be 15, and I press enter, and you can see, guys, on the 15th term only the value has risen up very quickly. So this is the nature of Fibonacci series. So guys, this was all about this video, and like, share and subscribe if you liked it.